All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Enhanced Sports Show. It's Saturday, February 24th, near the end of February. How about that? My name is Lou Tenor, and welcome to the show once again. The number to call is 512-543-4662. Repeat that again, 512-543-4662. And we'll be here just before 6 o'clock when Rizal McGee takes over his fine program. Remember, you can also tune the show on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in The Enhanced Sports Show, and you hear the show in its entirety. And if you want to leave a comment or subscribe, it just costs $4.95 a month to do that. I've got lots of good subscribers. I had some new subscribers last week, and I thank you for that. Unfortunately, we don't know who they are, but that's okay. I'm just glad you decided to subscribe and enjoy the podcast. All right. Kind of a small crowd today, but hey, maybe I can get more topics done in the meantime. All right, so I'll bring in Steve right now. Are you there, Steve? Diane's here too. I think she is. Diane. There you go. Okay, there we go. All right. So let's get on with the first time of the week, and that was of course NBA All Star Weekend. Now I gotta admit that it was a little bit kind of one sided. I mean, we had a record breaking score of more than 200 points. That's right, 200 points in the All Star game. That has never been done in all the years of the All Star game. And a lot of criticism came under that, like, with not enough defense and one side scoring. And it was just like, it's just basically like an exhibition show for whatnot. Nobody really pays much mind to defense. And that was the case this Sunday night, as it wasn't even competitive in the first half. And it was already blown out of the water at that point. I mean, I have never seen an All Star game like this before in all the years I've been watching it. So to rein around that, I will explain, and then we'll get to the slam dunk contest as well. All right. So if you were thinking it was going to be a defensive game for the All Star game, didn't happen. Uh, as the more felt like a continuation of the slam dunk competition. Oh boy, with little resistance, hometown favorite Tyrese Halliburton and Damian Lillard, put on a shooting clinic as the East beat the West All Stars in a score of, you ready for this, guys? 211 to 186. In case you didn't hear that, I'll say it again. 211 to 186. How do you like that? If you like that kind of a game, yes. But there's a lot of people, you know, that don't like that kind of a lopsided score. You know, because it was all offense really, and not enough defense that were hanging out. It was the first time we ever got to 200 points in an All Star game. So I'll continue. Well, I know you didn't see the game, but that's got to be kind of a score. Yeah. So to continue on, if following Shinkling, the East went. And I'm glad that they went back to the East-West format because all the other stuff was just too gimmicky and whatnot. And I'm glad they keep it, right where it is, which it should be right now. And no score in the second period between the Rangers and Flyers. Rangers are on a Rangers are on a hot streak here, but I'll get that a little bit later. So, anywho, as, as usual, for recent All Star games, there was very little defense, if at all, and the West did little to keep things competitive. After the East opened up a 6 point lead at the end of the first quarter, okay, that was fairly reasonable. The East likewise offered little on defense, which came close to breaking the all-time scoring record despite a losing effort. Halliburton got off to a hot start early when he played his first All-Star game as a starter, hitting 5 3-pointers in just 92 seconds. That's right, 15 points in 92 seconds. That's sick. To give the East an early advantage, that run set the Pacers guard to win the early MVP favorite. He didn't, but it was a worthy notification. But Lillard, who won his own scoring bid the second quarter and entered halftime with 22 points on 6 for 11 3-point shooting. By then, the East led by, at the half, 104 to 89. That's at the half, people. That's not final score. That was at the half. I bet you're probably thinking, say, what? Well, it's true. And that was the most points ever for a half in an All-Star game. Reminds me of that All Sport commercial back with Shaquille O'Neal back in the 90s. We see scores up to 230 points. Well, this came close to it, folks. Oh, wow. And yeah, I think you remember that commercial, right, Steve? Yeah, yeah. Well, guess what? Now it came true. Okay, both Lillard and Halliburton continued to set up each other with in the second half without much resistance from the Western Conference defenders. Lillard scored 39 points with 6 assists and shot 11 for 23 from 3 point range. Halliburton finished with 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, while shooting 10 for 14 from 3 point range. Very impressive. But it was not all fun. It was not all smiles, even from the commissioner, Adam Silver. When he was on his MVP, the crowd showed the displeasure with the chorus of booing. That's right. The fans were not happy about this either. The fans didn't want to see that kind of a game. They want to see more competitiveness, not at one side, you know, offensive onslaught by another team. Yeah, okay, I agree with that at some point, but you know, I do like to see scoring, of course, in a game, but it can't be so one sided either. You can't have like, like 160 to like 110 or whatever, or like a low scoring for like say 90 to 66 or whatever. You got to make the game more competitive. I know they try to make the efforts all they can do, but it just wasn't there. And I can understand why the crowd was in displeasure and started booing. They want to see a well competitive game, and we got just the opposite of that. Should I be surprised by that? Well, to be honest, no. No, I'm not surprised because All-Star game defense goes out the window. Then again, defense goes out the window in all All-Star games, to be honest. Yeah, so to continue on with this scoring charade, uh, Commissioner Silver also sounded less enthusiastic when presenting the trophy to the Eastern Conference captain that we call the Greek Freak. Despite all that, Karl-Anthony Towns was the high scorer of the night with 50 points, with 8 rebounds and 3 assists, despite a losing effort, and he came off the bench to do that, shooting 23 for 35 from the floor and 4 for 13 from 3 point range. Again, not a competitive game, and as I thought it was going to be, and it just didn't look right. It was bad for the game, bad for the fans, and there were reports saying that this game was fixed. Now I don't know if I can believe that or not. I mean, that's kind of tough to prove. Saying that the All-Star game was fixed was not, but it wasn't the game I was hoping for. We haven't seen a good competitive All-Star game in I don't know what the last decade, or I think, or something. You can say that again. You can say that again, Steve. So not exactly what I was thinking. But Steve, I assume you saw the game. Any thoughts? Yes. I wouldn't go that far, Steve. I wouldn't go for. I wouldn't go to golf. Well, maybe in a major, but Sabrina, I agree with you on that. That might have been the best of the All Star weekend. The match between Stefan, yeah, yes, Caitlin Clark. Yeah, yes, but she's not a pro yet, Steve. She's not a pro. So, I mean, college, yes. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No question. In fact, I have an article about her coming up because this is going to be a little bit controversial to some people, maybe, and we'll see when you agree on that. So basically, yeah, it was a bust. Yeah, I was expecting much more competition, but did we get? Nah, of course not. No, yeah, I know you didn't think it. I know you didn't watch it, but if you had to make an assumption of it, what would you say? The Eagles now? Yeah, and they're still no score. Okay, it's gonna be a defensive game, folks. Yeah, going for 10 straight if they can do it. It would be the first. It would be the first time since 1997 they went unbeaten in an entire month. To show you how that is, I'm really getting old. Yeah, go figure that out. Yeah. All right, so on to the other events of the weekend, which were a little bit more entertaining to some extent. It breaks down like this. If I get to the right page, I'll be better. All right. Yeah, we'll get to that later in the show, assuming he comes on. And hopefully James will be on too. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So moving along here. Okay. In that 3-point shooting contest, Stefan Curry beat out Sabrina Liskinu 29-26 in the 3-point challenge. Sabrina, now get this, guys. Sabrina did not want to shoot from the women's 3-point line at 20 feet 6 inches. She chose to shoot from the regular NBA line. Naturally, she shot with an NBA ball. Okay, I get that. Fans were allowed to vote on who would shoot first. I think it was Pistols at 10 paces. No, first, and that went to Sabrina. She opened up with seven straight shots, ending up with 26 points, which tied for the highest score in the 3-point contest. That was won by Damian Lillard, or as they say, Lizard. Curry had the perfect racks from both left and right wings. I went to the final rack. His money ball rack was each were 2 points, ending with a total of 21 points. He missed the first shot, but made the last four for a total of 29 and gets the victory. Lillard represented the Bucks and became the first back-to-back champion since Jason Kanapo in 2008, and the first Bucks player since the great Ray Allen way back in 2001. Hey, Steve, that's a name from the past, isn't it? James, how are you? James? There you are. Okay, yeah. When you come on, speak up nice and loud so we can hear you. Thank God. Okay. So we were just going over the All Star games and the 3-point competition with Sabrina and Stefan Curry, which I think was the highlight of the whole weekend. So what were your thoughts on the NBA All Star weekend? Yeah, a little bit, I would say. Yeah, I mean, because the Pro Bowl is nothing much more than just an exhibition right there. They don't do anything, and of course, the final scores end up like a college basketball game, so to speak. MLB baseball, kind of like more like an extension of home run derby. It was just trying to be the only All Star game I think is really worth mentioning is the NHL All Star game with their 3-on-3 competition. I liked it, to be honest. I thought that was I think it's the best All Star game out of all of them. Right. No. Right. It is. I mean, that's what's supposed to be, but you don't have to make it like let's say the Harlem Globetrotters. Get the point? And that's my next trick. I'll do a course of Sweet Georgia Brown. No, no, I'm kidding. Steve was going to do that before the show ended. Oh boy. Okay. Just kidding, Steve. Uh, remember, guys, I did the jokes myself. Yes. Completely ad-libbed. All right. So basically, the celebrity game I really couldn't care much about because you know they think they got skills. Maybe some of them do, but I don't think the celebrity game was worth what it's all cracked up to be. I mean, there's playing for show, thinking they got a skill to play the game when pretty much, well, they don't. So I just leave it at that. So overall, the yeah, I like that too. But that's also I think another just like another gimmick. That's what they gotta stop doing. That's what they have to stop doing. They have to make it something like a gimmick. And I mean, I know it's not for anything serious, but you have to keep your eye on the game as well, and not the theatrics of the All Star game because that's not supposed to be about. I mean, you're playing for your team. It should be an honor to play for your team whether you're playing East or West, and not worry about all the entertainment spectacles that go on with this game, which is what it's become. Basically, all the All Star games. If you want my opinion, even before the MLB All Star game, I think the Home Run Derby is the best out of that because and of course, it's no known secret that those balls are a little bit more pepped up during that competition. Well, I could have told you that myself. Yeah. All right. So on to more news. Lakers legend LeBron James did not directly address a report that he declined an opportunity to join the Warriors, oh boy, during a press conference ahead of the All Star game, but declared he wants to finish his career as a Laker. I'm a Laker. I'm very happy of being a Laker here for the past 6 years and hopes to stay away as he entered his 20th All Star game. I don't have an answer for how long it'll be or what uniform I'll be in, but hopefully it'll be with the Lakers. It's a great organization, so many greats, and we will see. Uh, I don't know when this will end, but I know it's coming. Yeah, you've been in the league now 20, 21 years. I mean, you have, your NBA rings and whatnot. And of course, with the Cavaliers and the Lakers, and of course the Heat. His time is coming. But and he also has his son now who's attending college in California and whatnot. So I think it would be wise for him to stay a Laker, or if all comes to a possibility, maybe a Clipper. Would I just say Clippers? Ugh, yuck. Yeah, the baby brother. Yeah, so I think he does make sense when he says that he wants to stay a Laker, and why not? Because not for nothing, but I don't like when players who have built up a legacy for so long and for one team, and then late in their career they go to somewhere else. Like with Joe Montana, he went from the 49ers to the Chiefs in his last year, which didn't make any sense whatsoever. Um, Wayne Gretzky, who finished with the St. Louis Blues for a brief time after with the Kings, the Orioles, Oilers, excuse me, Rangers, and then the Blues for what, 1 or 2 games? Why? It doesn't make sense. You build up a legacy, and then for the final few games, you go somewhere else. I say if you want to go back and finish your career, go back with the team you started with. That's where you built your legacy from. Well, not so. I'm glad, but I think LeBron makes sense. He's got family there now, and he has a home there too. And even when it was just in the off season. So yeah, I think that does make sense for him to stay with the Lakers and finish that career, which I think he's got about maybe about another year or two tops. I mean, he's done everything. I mean, he broke the all-time scoring record. He's got the championships. He's got everything. So, I think it make a great finish to a historic career by finishing with the Lakers. Then again, this is LeBron we're talking about who changes mind. And when the fans heard he was going from Cleveland to Miami and then Miami back to Cleveland, then Cleveland to LA, the fans are not happy about that. I mean, you saw the rioting on the streets when he made his announcement that he was leaving to go somewhere else, right, guys? Yeah, because I remember when the fans were upset. You're lucky you didn't. So I mean, I think Steve, and I think maybe James might remember the first time he left when he bolted for Miami, and the fans of the Cavaliers were not happy at all. They showed their disgust. Exactly. And well, let's put it this way. To call the Hall and Oates song, "Say It Isn't So." Oh boy, yeah, yeah. Oh come on, Steve, you know it's going somewhere with that. Come on, 6 years and you finally figured this out. Okay, all right, moving along. And we have a score in this game. No, we don't. We got some hits here. Okay. All right. So I think LeBron will. I think LeBron will stay. I think it'd be a wise decision if he did stay. All right. So moving on. And when Gerald does get here, we'll take a look at that Daytona Fire, which was actually called due to rain on Sunday. You know that muckety muck, and had to play. I had to do it on Monday. Yeah. The slam dunk contest. Aha! Get this. For the second straight year in a row, it belonged to not an NBA player, but a G League player. That's right. The Osceola Magic guard, McClung, whatever his McClung, delivered another set of wild dunks to defeat the Celtics' Jalen Brown in the final round of the slam dunk competition on Saturday night. For the Celtics. I had to mention that name. Diane, you know I hate the Celtics. Oops. Sorry, guys. McClung is the fifth player. Yeah, but I know people who are Celtics fans. Oh boy. McClung is the fifth player to win back-to-back slam dunk contests. The other four are Jason Richardson, Nate Robinson, Zach Levine, and some guy named Michael Jordan. Never heard of him. And I had not, I was being sarcastic, James. I was being sarcastic. What do you get to know me in the show? So, anywho, yeah, some people are. Okay, the night may not have been exciting as last year's performance, but was still a standout in the field that included the first All Star to participate since 2018. For his part, Jaylen Brown delivered two dunks in the finals that were well received by the judges, but not so much by the fans themselves. Ooh. His first dunk was attributed to the late Terrence Clark, a native of Boston. His second featured Donovan Mitchell, I don't know why, and a rhinestone glove that resembled Michael Jackson's on his left hand and shot at frequent criticism that he only shoots with his right hand. Hmm. The real drama came in the first round when all five judges delivered some scores that ranked many fans, including the loudest at Lucas Oil Stadium. McClung had a high score of 97.4 to advance. The next spot came down to Knicks G League player Jacob Trubin, younger brother of Obi-Wan, and Brown. Toppin delivered in what looked like a superior dunk by going 360 over the legs to the approval of the crowd. The dunk was only 47.2, some speculating the judges penalized him for needing a second try. Brown also needed a second try to complete the dunk. Okay. Brown had the final dunk on the of the round. He brought out Jason Tatum, yuck, and YouTuber sensation Kai Sentat to help. With Tatum lobbing the ball and Sentat sitting in front of the basket, the result was pretty much dull, especially when the crowd noticed that Brown had faked covering his eyes as he came down from the rim. Oh, that old trick, huh? Okay. The crowd was booing. The crowd was booing so loudly, you could hear from all the way from the arena over to my house as replays are being shown. Yeah, all the way from Indianapolis to my house. Yeah, that's a pretty loud decibel right there. Oh boy. The judges, however, were fans of the dunks, or at least by Brown's All-Star status. They gave him a 47.6, eliminating Toppin, and sparked several questions of what they were actually watching. Between those numbers and the finals scoring, it was a curious night for the league and could have been a higher controversy one if McClung had not served. All right, yeah, I think I saw a little bit of the slam dunk contest. I think I get the point here. So, anybody thoughts on the slam dunk contest? Was this judged fairly? And I think the Rangers have scored. No, we got a brouhaha going on. Oh boy! All right, Steve, your thoughts on the slam dunk competition? Right, right. You mean Blake Griffin? You mean Blake Griffin? Blake Griffin. Yeah. I think I had to agree on that. I don't know. Maybe the judges saw something that the fans didn't. You know, that's the way I look at it. You know, and having to do a second shot. I don't even think that's allowed, to be honest with you. So, I think maybe the fans. I think maybe the fans have something here. Um, James, any thoughts? Pretty much. Yeah, yeah. I think that is, again, like I said, more theatrics. You know, I mean, yeah, the All Star Weekend, of course, though. They film all these events. The slam dunk, the celebrity, um, doing it blindfolded or whatnot. I'll be next. The celebrity game. So they're trying to get everything. More for the dollar, and more for the entertainment part. But maybe like I said, the judges might have saw something that might have dazzled them, but the fans were just not impressed. Boy, talk about a rough crowd. Your thoughts, Steve? Yeah. Right, Die? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, how I thought it was. But the thing with the G League player beat out the NBA players in the slam dunk contest. I mean, wasn't I think, Simon clung to a contract or something. I mean, he's that good. Put him in the NBA. What are you waiting for? Yeah, but when you got someone who's won the slam dunk contest over the NBA players, I think he's worthy of a look. I mean, I think he won beyond run for his money too. Have him replace Wimbayana. He's good. I mean, why? You said talent, so why waste the talent? No, I think it's gonna be ready, by next year. I think it'll give McClung a look, or have him play in the summer league games. Well, I think he's worthy of a look. So I think we should give him a chance. Like I think he's being overlooked. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Any thoughts, Doc? I'd say that too. All right, on to the next. This is well, Nets fans. What can I tell you? One season your coach is good. The next season you reek. As the Nets fired head coach Jock Vaughn on Monday, the move was first reported by ESPN. Um, at press time, there was not interim coach named, but now there has been, and I'll explain as we go on. That's at the time we're 21 and 33, 11th in the East, and while we're not the worst team in the league, they have been struggling often and quite badly. According to SNY reporter Ian Begley, several Nets players have lost confidence in Vaughn. The Nets' last game before the All-Star break might have been the last straw for the front office, as the Nets suffered a 50-point loss to the Celtics last Thursday. Yuck. Uh, there have been lopsided scores in the league this year, but a 50-point loss is hard to ignore. That took the cake. Vaughn had been with the Nets since 2016 as part of Kenny Atkinson's coaching staff. Prior to that, he coached with the Magic, then served as a scout for the Spurs, after he was fired by the Magic in 2015. With the Nets, Vaughn spent most of his time as an assistant before becoming interim coach after the firing of Steve Nash. Diane, you might be familiar more with his brother Rick Nash. Vaughn was named, well, he is a hockey player. Vaughn was, I'll get back to that later. Vaughn was official head coach for 8 seasons. Vaughn was named official head coach 8 days after. 8 days later, he ends with a reasonable record of 64-45. Yeah, I gotta admit that was very painful to see. I mean, because they have really, ugh, just have fallen by the wayside by that, and the Nets are not looking competitive at all. They were doing fine like in the first few weeks of the season, but just before Christmas, they have really just fallen flat. Oh, by the way, and Kevin Ollie, who was at UConn, is now the interim coach. He's already reported to practice. His first game was against the Raptors on Thursday. The Nets now have 27 games left in the regular season and hanging on a cliff. The Nets hope Ollie can recharge the Nets roster that has fallen to the bottom of the offense and defense efficiency since mid-December. Ollie, who played in the NBA for 13 seasons, won a national title with UConn as coach in 2014, then joined the Nets staff as an assistant coach this season. In 2+ seasons, Vaughn was 71-68 in the regular season as he coached the Nets, but in the postseason, nothing. 0-8. Ugh. As I said, he replaced Steve Nash a year ago, and last year showed promise, but this year went right back down the basement. So, but Ollie looks like a good choice. I mean, I watched him play when he was in the NBA, and he was a great coach at UConn, giving him national championships. So, I think Ollie might be an answer here and can help with the struggling offense and defense. At least I'm hoping so. And Rangers are now up 1-0. Thank you. Aha. Love it. Yeah. So, Steve, your thoughts on Ollie taking over for the Nets? And they need one. They need some help very, very badly. You're heard here first. Yeah. Just a good deal. One at a time. One at a time. All right. Okay, James. Yeah, on Kevin Ollie taking over as the Nets coach, the interim coach, that is. Yeah, it was. Yes. Right. This is how we do it. Yeah. Right. James, your thoughts? Mm. No, of course not. Diane. Yeah, they can sure use a lot of help. I just hope Ollie is a winning coach. He has, a lot of experience in winning. So, I think he might be. I mean, think he might be an answer at least in the short term. I don't know how much long. How long. It might be a little bit late for this season since they're on a 12 games below 500 with only 20 games to play. Looks doubtful they're going to make the playoffs, but they can always try to make out next season if the Nets can get a little something going here between now and the end of the season. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs though. I seriously doubt it. Hey, Steve, I heard about a big wrestling match that went on early this morning, and I don't know. I think it was only before the birds got up. So, would you care to elaborate on this? Okay, MMA. Well, one was Asian champion. Yeah. It was on 5 o'clock this morning, buddy. Yeah, yeah. Matthew's here. Good. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Right. All right. Diane, your trivia. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Go ahead. That would be the Lakers. 33 in a row. Would you repeat that again, Di? Yes, that's correct. That would be James Naismith. No? Larry O'Brien, right. Larry O'Brien trophy. That's right. Oh, Roger? Right. Okay. Because I always think because Naismith, was the father of basketball. So that's what got me all mixed up. Okay. Okay. He was coach for the Knicks. Who was thrown out, you said? Oh, that's easy. Dennis Rodman. Jabbar, the other guy. Wow. Before LA. Before LA. Maybe Rodman and him are related for some chance. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that was in the early days of the NBA, before it got popular. Yes. All right. So, and welcome aboard, Roger. Nice to have you here. All right. So I got one more basketball note here. I think you'll find this interesting. Kind of a strange statistic, but sometimes we have that here. Victor Wembanyama posted a very unusual statistic in last night's loss to the Lakers. He joined Jamal Tinsley, I think I remember him, as the only players in their rookie season to have a 5x5 game. That means posting at least 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, and 5 blocks in the same game. And becomes only the second player to have at least 5 blocks and 5 steals in consecutive games since Michael Jordan. Here's the thing though. Jordan did it in his third season, but he did when his team won, and when Wembanyama did as they lost. uh, despite despite the fact that he had great efforts, they still lost to the Lakers, which are coming on strong. Wembanyama, though, did finish with a great game: 27 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 steals, and 5 blocks to become the 15th player to have um, a 5-on-5 game since 2019, and that was done by Yusuf Newkirk back then. He came up one night short as Wembanyama came up one assist short against the Kings to have two consecutive 5x5 games since blocks became an official stat back in 1974. So great night for him, but too bad on a losing effort though. He's doing all the work really though. I mean, the Spurs aren't really doing much of anything this year at all. They're really struggling. So he's the one that's trying to carry this team through. But but he's been so hyped up, and everything was going to be the savior of the team. He has not been the savior of that team so far. Right. All right. No, it doesn't. But when you hype up a player like that so much, it does kind of, you wonder how it's all hyped up. And sometimes, the hype kills it. And unfortunately, that's what's done this year. But then again, the Spurs being what they were last year, you can't expect them to jump all the way up to, first in just overnight either. They got some their work cut out for them. So maybe next year he'll get better, and maybe the Spurs will get better too. You can't do much worse. All right. So I think now we got some hockey news to mention here. Just a second here. I gotta take a look at that. Oh, yes, we do have some hockey news. Hold on a second. First of all, Chicago Bulls for Patrick Williams will have season-ending surgery on his left foot. The announcement was made yesterday. He's been sidelined since January 25th and diagnosed with a bone edema. Subsequent imaging revealed that the injury got worse from a stress reaction. The Bulls are not doing good at all this year. They are hit with injuries as they have lost some key players. They've lost Zach LaVine, who underwent foot surgery earlier this month. Tony Craig will be evaluated in 2 to 4 weeks from a right knee while working on the All-Star break. And this puts more pressure on DeMar DeRozan and Cody White as the league as they lead league in this season. I thought really the Bulls are going to do better this year, but they have certainly shown that injuries of course are playing a big part in it. But this is not the Bulls of say Jordan, Pippen, Longley, Kukoc, and all of them. This is a far cry from that era, isn't it, guys? Scrubs. All right. Anything else? All right. Okay. How many of you saw Thursday night's Rangers Devils game besides Diane and myself? How about you, Roger? Matthew? Okay, it was a better game. Wait, is Matthew? Are you still there? He's somewhere. All right. So let me. Right. I've done that too. So anyway, for those of you who didn't know, there was a big problem at the start of the game. Uh, well, first of all, let's do this. Jack Hughes says his team needs some attitude adjusting as their playoff hopes are fading. We did not digest last Thursday night and wrap our heads around, change our attitude, and start believing in ourselves. Hughes scored the Devils' only goal as the game as the Rangers won their ninth straight in a 6-1 thrashing on Thursday. The Devils, who won their Stadium Series last week, now lost two straight, first against the Capitals. Nice going, Steve. And then the Rangers. The Devils are now 5 points back in front of the Panthers for the last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. They have two games in hand. The Devils are 7 points behind the Flyers, who are third in the Metro Division with a game in hand on Philadelphia. Hughes puts the blame on himself, saying, "I'm not playing my best. I've got to find a way to get to that point for the stretch run." But still, you should not blame yourself. Okay, don't blame yourself for the team going wrong. It takes a team effort to do it, to get there. I know you feel lousy, but you should not blame yourself for the team's failures. Yes. All right. Rangers rookie Matt Rempe, his third game of his career, came to rep on Thursday night after being ejected for a hit to the head on Devils player Nate Baston. This is what I'm referring to, guys. Okay. On the first shift of the night for the winger, Rempe ramped into the head of Baston along the boards, sending the right winger sprawling and breaking his stick in the process. Now, wait, it gets even worse. Blood began to appear on the face of Baston as he slowly got up to his knees before leaving the ice with the assistance of trainers. I mean, that was ugly. I mean, the blood and everything. Oh, wow. Just awful. The hit was met by a challenge from Devils defenseman Jonas Singenhader. However, the fight only lasted two punches, with Rempe coming out with the victory. It was Rempe's second fight in his brief NHL career, after he bowed the Islanders' Matt Martin on his first shift in his NHL debut. I think we got to see our Ty Dummy here, guys, because he was a dirty player too. I think we're seeing another resurgence of him or his son. Ugh. Rempe was given a 5-minute major for roughing and given a match penalty, or as the group was, 5 for fighting. I can't stand the fly. No. Okay. His total time on the ice was a mere, get this, guys, 13 seconds, and that's a new Olympic record. 13 seconds. Wow. After the game, Rangers coach Peter Laviolette called it a tough play, and indeed it was. That was a tough play. The Rangers killed off the penalty and then took a 2-goal lead at the end of the first period. How do you not score in a 5-minute major? That's the best advantage you can have, and you still couldn't score. Boy, I thought for sure they were going to get at least 1 goal in, before the period ended, but they didn't get anything. That's your best chance to score, a 5-minute major, and you couldn't do it. My. Yeah. So if I'll continue. Okay. In the second period, Baston received a minor penalty for hit on Rangers captain Jacob Trouba before the pair did fisticuffs. And then it was fighting words. So I'll admit that was a rough play. I mean, I don't think he deserved that kind of to get hit like that. And I believe there's going to be at least a fine for him. We don't know how much, but I think also a suspension might be in order here for that hit, which looked kind of vicious when you think of it, especially if you saw the replay. I mean, a fine is coming. I think he's going to get a pretty stiff fine, and I think a suspension of at least 5 games is in order on Rempe. You did not watch it. Okay. All right, then I was mistaken. But that was a rough play, and yeah. I mean, look, we all know the division rivals can't stand each other. Say of course, the Yankees and the Red Sox. That's name one. The Padres and the Giants and the Dodgers. The Jets and the Eagles, especially. I mean, the Giants and the Eagles rather. The Jets and them, if you know what I mean. It's natural to have, a bit of animosity towards your division opponent, but you don't go out like that and beating someone, especially that. I know it's part of the game, but there are some plays that, just aren't worth it. And if he gets suspended, you know, it's he's gonna kind of deserve it. Jimmy, your thoughts on Thursday's game with the Devils and Rangers, and how vicious do you think was that hit? Yeah, yeah, it was. The better, yeah, but the hit itself, I mean, I don't think it was really necessary to have that kind of a hit. That was dirty. Doesn't it really get time, Tommy? Yeah. I mean, there are hits and there are hits that are, uncalled for, and that was one of them. Uh, James, your thoughts? All right. Matt, any thoughts? Matthew? All right. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's, it's all over. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, you can say that again. He's got to get some kind of suspension. I can tell you right now. Roger, any thoughts? Yes. I mean, because those matches can get rather nasty. Well, that's not surprising though. Yeah, it's part of the game. It's part of the rivalry. All right, moving on to other hockey news. Bruins captain Brad Manchard arrived at TD Gardens back on Sunday for an afternoon game against the Dallas Stars, wearing a special jacket. I know you're probably thinking, how special is it? I'll tell you. Manchard was being honored for the puck dropped for his 1,000th game of his career. He officially played 1,000 games about 9 days ago against the Lightning. The left winger's custom made gold and white jacket had a vintage look with the complete classic Bruins logo. Yuck. And also included his last name and 1,000 on the back. So, congratulations on Machard. Now let's see if you're going to be able to do well in the playoffs this year, because last year you absolutely choked. But it is a great honor to get to 1,000 games because you don't really see that much anymore anyway. So that is, it's quite an accomplishment in this day and age, to be honest with you. I'll give you that. Any thoughts on the 1,000 game of Manchard? You bet it is. Yeah. Now I'm not talking 1,000 games with the same team now, Jimmy. Just 1,000 games overall. It is. I'll give you that. All right. So moving along here. Moving right along. Okay. Oh, we got another customer coming in pretty soon. Oh, nice. All right. Moving on. Hmm. That's okay. Sometimes mine isn't that strong either. All right. Oh, Steve, here's one for you. Capitals left winger Oshie left Thursday's game with a non-contact injury. Oshie went down on the ice after making a move near the offensive blue line. He crawled along to the boards to the bench and needed assistance as he head back to the locker room. Capitals head coach Spencer Carberry said there's a high level of concern of the injury to Oshie. Mm. We will evaluate yesterday, but it's never a good sign when a player leaves the ice early. No kidding. Capitals are within 5 points. Yeah, pretty scary. That's a pretty scary thing when you have it there, and I certainly would. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the guy myself, but I don't like to see anybody go down, with that. Any other thoughts? How about you, Jimmy? You're the hockey fan too. No. Yes. Right. Yeah, going down like a Bruce Springsteen song. I'm going down, down, down. Oh, never mind. Okay. Uh, yeah, that's an old joke. That's an old joke, folks. Yeah. Oh, speaking of more hockey, we got a milestone report here. Austin Matthews. Here we go. Scored his 50th goal of the season on Wednesday night with a win over the Coyotes. As the fastest player in 28 years to hit 50 this point in the season. Playing his 54th game of the year, Matthews scored with just over 5 minutes into the game and to give the Maple Leafs an early 2-0 lead over the Coyotes. He added his 51st goal of the season, giving him 350 for his career in 535 games, and the Leafs won 6-3. He scored his first shot from the circle, left of the goaltender Kira Mika. I can't say his name for the life of me. Mitch Miner and Timothy Legerin assisted on the goal that became the Coyotes. It came with the Coyotes' Michael Carbone in the penalty box for slashing Matthews, then scored a goal off the rebound in the second period. We had a couple of power plays, and we were able to just snap it around. I tried to get open, and Maynard at the puck, and he's got great sense of where I am on the ice, and vice versa, said Matthews. We just push ourselves to be the best we can be. Mario Lemieux achieved 50 goals in the 95-96 season. Wayne Gretzky still holds the record by scoring 50 goals in the 81-82 season, on his way to having a 92 goal season in 81-82. And that record, I can tell you right now, guys, is never going to be broken. Never. The Babe Ruth of hockey. Matthews did break a tie to reach 50 goals in a season by a U.S.-born player, shared with the record with Kevin Stevens. He did in 63 games in the 92-93 season. Matthews tied that mark in the 2021-22 season. I'll tell you, he's good. I mean, he is a great player. No question about it. I just wish he would come over one of our sides. Just a thought. Yeah, I know. Okay, now for the ridiculous story of the week, and I know you guys are going to hate this. In the wake of Monday night's basketball game, the Southland Conference has suspended 8 players following Texas A&M Commerce win over the Incarnate World on Monday night. The brawl, which lasted more than a minute, spilled across the floor as players and West coaches tried to break up this melee. It still don't know what caused the brawl in the first place. 4 players from each side were suspended for their flagrant foul actions. The conferences has said the suspensions have already been taken place. Continuing on, Texas A&M Commerce had suspended Jerome Brown Jr. and Abraham and Kyle were suspended for 3 games. The teammate Prince Davis was only suspended for 1 game. Personally, I think he should be suspended for the equal amount of games. For the Incarnate World, guard Elijah Davis was given a 3-game suspension. Alex Anderson, Gabe Benny Till, and Marcus Glover were each suspended 2 games. The Southland Conference Board of Directors has set clear expectations for sportsmanship and behavior for our student athletes and coaches during and after competitions. Obviously, they went all out the window on Monday night. Uh, Commissioner Chris Grant said in a statement, unfortunately, those statements were not met Monday night, and the Southland Conference will not tolerate such ridiculous idiocy behavior. In a statement made by the Incarnate World, athletic director Richard Duran said that the university respects the decision made by the conference. I mean, you were going for a handshake and you go and slug the guy. What was that for? I've heard of poor sports who lose a game, but come on. I mean, you go out and deck the guy because you lost. I mean, look, I don't. I told you. I told you it was ridiculous. Yeah, welcome to How Stupid Can You Be? Second thought, don't ask that question. Uh, hey, yes. James, did you actually happen to catch the Daytona 500 this last weekend? James, if you're still there. Yeah, did you happen to catch the Daytona 500? Did you happen to catch it? All right. Well, okay. Well, I'll mention this anyway. With a tale of two skids and the chaotic Daytona 24 500 could be just that. With 2 laps to go, any of our drivers could see their names up in lights. William Barron and Ross Chastain were the likeliest candidates to capture the victory, with their menacing carriages providing struttier and faster than any of their um, adversaries. For much of the day, they danced alone, plotting the course as the cars tumbled back and forth as like leaves on a windy day, and the race ended its crescendo through they waltzed through each other's paths. Remember, the race was delayed one day because of drenching rains in Florida throughout the state. In the end, Byron flew past his opposition to secure the first win of the famous old ground of the Daytona International Speedway. He ended the day with a skip benefiting of a king. Chastain wasn't quite so lucky. He barreled towards the infield, leaving remnants of his tires all across the slick grass. This year's contest proved an enduring watch from with spills, thrills, and probably pills, and plenty of rubber added to Chastain's late crash. The big one, with 8 laps remaining, entangling 22 cars and ending the race for 9 drivers after that horrific crash. Luckily, nobody was killed. Yet, when the dust settled, a familiar paint scheme stood up at the podium. Byron was driving the number 24 car, made famous by who, guys? Who's famous for number 24? Nope. No. No, Earn was number 3. You got it, Jeff Gordon. Very, very good, Diane. Very good. You guys don't remember Jeff Gordon? How could you? All right. The Sporting News tracked live updates from Monday's race at Daytona's International Speedway, and all the highlights were posted up on the screen after that. So, congratulations to Byron for Team Hendrick Motorsports. Alex Bowman was second. Christopher Bell of the Joe Gibbs Racing Team was third. Corey Joe was fourth. So, 3 of the top 4 were from the Hendricks Motorsports team. Hey, they got something going here, guys. So that's kind of a strange thing to say. It was a great crash. I mean, I don't know if anyone wants to be remembered for having a crash at the race, but I guess that's why a lot of people start watching it though. Just to, yeah, yes, 22, Steve. Worse than it is. Oh man. Well, at least it was down, but still, I mean, to see that kind of happen, you don't want to see something just to get crashed. I mean, that's not what it should be about. But then again, you're going past the sound barrier, it's going to happen. All right, now for the controversial story of the week, and I think you might agree with me. All right, now I've been mentioning about Caitlin Clark the past couple of weeks, but now here's the problem. There's a debate on actually who is the all-time scorer in women's basketball. Listen closely. Caitlin Clark scored 24 points for Iowa on Thursday night, pushing her total to 3,593 points, only needing 57 points to surpass Lynn Woodward. Now, here's the debate. While Clark broke the record of Kelsey Plum last week, some believe that Woodward is the true record holder, and here's why. Once upon a time, a long time ago, the NCAA did not recognize individual stats that were recorded before it began governing women's sports back in the 1981-82 season. Woodward graduated before that, the previous season. Problem number one. However, there are some inconsistencies to that rule. Take Stanford's Tara Van Dever, who was recognized by the NCAA as the all-time leader in Division I wins as coach. She surpassed Coach Mike Krzyzewski last month, despite 59 wins at Idaho and Ohio State, dating back to 1981-82. Without those wins, she would still trail Coach K. Van Dever believes that Woodland is the true record holder, she told Wall Street Journal last month, and many other women's basketball players would agree to that. They have an argument here. The NCAA put all women athletes prior to 1982 to the back pages of the sports newspaper. Former Kansas coach Marion Washington told R1S1 Sports. They have disowned the history of women's college basketball, and that is not acceptable. Woodward, a four-time All-American and Kansas, and a master point total even before the three-point line was even created, and with a ball that had not shrunk to better the women's brand. She was captain of the 1984 Women's Olympic team, I remember that, and won a gold medal, and a year later became the first female to join the Harlem Globetrotters. She came out of retirement in 1997 to play in the first two seasons of the WNBA and was inducted into the Hall of Fame, to the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2004. So we got a pretty good argument here, guys. I mean, I kind of forgot about Woodward myself. All of a sudden, Plum comes along, and then Clark comes along and taking the credit for something maybe that it's a little bit premature. I mean, should Woodward's record count, and should be credited as still having the all-time scoring record for women, or do we throw that out before 1982 and give Clark the benefit? So, what are your everybody's thoughts on this, guys? Yes, yes, right, yeah, right. Steve, any thoughts? Really? Anyone else? No. Okay. Yeah. Right. We are. Yes. Well, I'm more of a yeah. I mean, if you're not going to count, back from the 81-82 season and before, after when we graduated, I think there's a good case here that Caitlin should break the record, have the credit for the record, and she's not that far from breaking the all-time college score record. Period. To challenge Pistol Pete Maravich in the 1970-71 season. So that's on the line too. So we're going to watch that, and there'll be a game on that tomorrow on Fox. So I'm looking forward to that myself. Okay, to the combine. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy is not going to be attending next week's scouting combine, where both he and defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer continue to set up meetings to set up and change the scheme. McCarthy said the workload, captivity, and time efficiency made more sense for them to remain at the Star. Both Zim and I have a week here together, and cover a lot of ground with things like things I'm working on, McCarthy said. At the same time, we can still participate in the combine process and had direct through video meetings while having our coaches on the ground with them. Last season, McCarthy did not attend the combine because of the changes he was making to the offensive scheme and first year as play caller. He flew to Indianapolis for a few hours to meet with the media, but returned to the Star and seeing the offensive coaches made alterations that helped the Cowboys lead the league in scoring in the 2023 season. While McCarthy and Zimmer will not attend Combine, both will take part in interview sessions via the internet. Tapes of the workouts will be available to keep them informed of the draft process. Mm. Well, yeah, go ahead. Yes, right. Yeah, yes. Yeah, yeah, right. You got a point there, Steve. But that doesn't make a lot of sense either. Right. That does seem kind of strange. Yeah. I think, well, in this day and age, nobody goes like in person like they used to, but you know, that's how it works. It is weird. You're right. Well, welcome to the 21st century. Okay. Well, we had the outdoor games of hockey this week. So guess what? Now they're already can have stuff for the next All Star game. The New York Islanders will be hosting the NHL All Star game in 2026. The league announced on Monday. The news was announced. I sorry, was announced on Saturday during the first intermission of during the first intermission of their overtime loss to the Rangers at MetLife Stadium in the second game of the outdoor series last weekend. UBS Arena in Elmont, New York in 2022 in the next All Star weekend, as the league will skip the event next season and roll out the Nations 4 tournament, a mid season tournament that will feature players from the US, Canada, Finland, and Sweden. Yeah, I want to see that. The last time the Islanders hosted the All Star game was way back in 1983. I was only in sixth grade then. During their early 80s dominance, Wayne Gretzky was named the MVP that year. The Islanders won their third of four straight Stanley Cups from 1980 1983. Excuse me, I got a barf. Ugh. New York's All-Star Weekend will take place just before the start of the Winter Olympics in 2026. Construction on the USB Arena began in 2019, and the Islanders played their games of the 2021-22 season they split between Brooklyn and their old home of the Nassau Coliseum. I remember that. The venue was the focal point of their $1.5 billion economic developmental plan, projected to be a major boost for the entire region of Long Island. So, I don't have any real New Yorkers up. Well, we do actually. Jimmy, your thoughts coming to Long Island in 2026? I mean, that's going to be, I think, a nice setup for the game. Don't you think? Yeah. Yes. I know. I know. Anyone else? Yes. I'm looking forward to that, buddy. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be something. Anyone else? I don't care from the New York area or not. Anybody have any thoughts on the All Star game in 2026? I think Diane just left. Okay. No, NHL. Sorry. All right. Moving on to more football, the Steelers are looking for a new center. The team has released center Mason Cole, who started 34 games since being acquired 2 years ago. The move clears nearly 5 million in cap space, and gives the team more flexibility with an extra 30 million in the extra cap space announced by the league yesterday. Cole had a year left in his 3-year, $50.7 million deal that he signed in 2022, though Cole, a 2018 third round pick by the Cardinals, was a leader on the offensive line, and in the locker room. However, he was not consistent in snaps throughout the season, prompting the Steelers to search for upgrade at the position. And it's 2-1 Rangers over Philadelphia right now. Good. The Steelers had the 20th pick in the draft and closely evaluate offensive linemen at the Senior Bowl last month. Yeah, but the Steelers have been the same for a long time now, and I think it's a change for that. I mean, he wasn't getting the job done, so I think it's about time that they did make a move there. All right, the cap. Yep, Alex is here. Alex, hello. All right. Yes. Right. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Steve, we got to move on. We got to move on. Okay. All right. Football predictions for this AFC North. Okay. Starting with the Ravens. All right. Home games. Bengals. Steve, win or loss? All right. Um, Diane. Um, oh, James. Matthew. Okay. James, win or loss? All right. Matthew. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. I'll say that's a win. Okay. Okay. Um, the Browns. All right. Steve. Diane. All right. James. Matt. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. All right. I'll get that. I'll get that a win too. Yeah, it should be a win. All right. The Steelers. Steve. Okay. Okay. Diane. All right. James. Matt. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. Gerald. Divisions for the North. We're doing the home game schedule now. Ravens. We're now up to the. We're going out to the Browns. Uh-oh. Do I hear the sound of Betty Cantlay? Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's gonna be a win. All right, Steelers. Okay, Ravens against Steelers at home. Betty, win or lose. We're doing we're doing divisions here. Now remember, this is unofficial, but we're just going for divisions, between the home games and the visiting games for right now. Okay. All right. Steve, you say a win. Okay. Diane, James, Matthew. Nothing to be sorry about. Just Roger, Jimmy, Alex, haha, and Gerald. Yeah, you're right. Right. That's it. All right. Okay. Okay. Broncos. Steve. Diane. Betty. Okay. Um, James. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. And Gerald. All right. Someone left. All right. Not a good crowd anyway. All right. Next up, the Raiders. Steve. At home. All right. Diane. She says with very good confidence. I like that. Uh, James. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. Gerald. Betty. Okay. I think you're right. I think you're right here. Okay. Moving along. No, I think they can win against the Raiders. I'm sorry. All right. The Eagles. Steve. Diane. Oh, boy. Uh, James. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. Alex. Right. Okay. Alex. At home. Ravens at home. Uh, right. Gerald. Betty. Okay. I'm taking. I'm taking the Ravens though. Okay. Yes. All right. We did Eagles. Okay. Ravens against the Commanders. All right, Steve, go ahead. Right. Okay. Diane. Diane. All right. Uh, James. Roger. Matt. Jimmy. Alex. Gerald. Betty. Is this Jennifer? Okay, we're doing NFL predictions by divisions. And who do you have in this match right here? The Commander. Okay, and Alan's here. Alan, we're up to the Ravens, and we're doing the Commanders right now at home. Does Baltimore win or lose? Okay, I'm gonna say Baltimore wins. Okay, the Bills. Diane, if she's still here. Exactly. That's why I put you first. That's why I put you first. All right, Steve. Sorry. All right, James. Roger. Jimmy. Uh-oh. Alex. Gerald. Oh boy. Betty. Jennifer. Okay. Nice having you back too. Alan. Okay. I know Diane's going to kill me for this, but I'm going to go with the Ravens. Sorry. All right. So that takes care of the home schedule. Now for the away schedule. Okay. Against the Bengals, Steve. Diane. All right. Roger. James. Jimmy. Alex. Gerald. Betty. Jennifer. And Alan. I'm going to say, uh, yeah, I think you're with that. Okay. Against the Browns, away. Steve. All right. Diane. We're doing this away now. All right. Yeah. Jimmy. James, rather. James. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. At Cincinnati. Okay. Yeah, we're doing away now, guys. We're doing away. Uh, Gerald. Okay. Betty. Jennifer. She's speechless. And Alan. Jennifer, are you still there? Hmm. Okay. Right. Okay. You're doing fine though. Okay. All right. Let me see. Against the Browns, away. Steve. Away. Okay. Diane. James. Roger. Jimmy. Alex. Gerald. Betty. Jennifer. Alan. Okay. Okay, Alan. Roger, did I get you? Okay. I want to make sure I get everybody, guys. I got more people than I thought. Wow. All right, moving along. I thought that. Okay. Against the Browns away. Betty. I mean, because, oh, that's right. You're not. All right. Steve, this is away now. Away. All right. Diane. All right. James. Jimmy. Alex. Gerald. We're at the away side now, and we're at the Browns. Browns against the Ravens. The Ravens are away. All right. Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Uh, Jennifer. Alan. Okay. All right. Next up, the Steelers. Oh boy. All right. Steve. Betty. Yes, of course. Diane. You guys know me better than you guys know me better than I thought. All right. James. It's against the Steelers away. All right. Jimmy. All right. Roger. Alan. Alex. Gerald. Jennifer. Okay. All right. Uh, Against the Cowboys. All right, Steve, go. Diane. Hmm. Jimmy. Yeah. James. Roger. Alex. Gerald. Uh, Jennifer. Yeah. Betty and Alan. Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna have time to go through all this today, guys. So we're just gonna do like up to this part now. We'll be back to more next week. If you do it quickly, we'll recap it. Right. Yes. Exactly. That's right. Okay. Uh, yeah. All right. Against the Chiefs, Steve, Diane, James, Jimmy, Roger, Alex, Gerald, Betty. Okay. Jennifer. Okay. Alan. Good point. All right. I think you're right about that. Against the Chargers, Steve. Diane. James. All right. Jennifer, you're saying breaking news. Go ahead. Uh, yes. Ooh, I see. Okay. All right. Who do you have away between the Ravens and the Chargers? Yes. Yes. Okay. Right. All right. Okay. Alex. Yeah. Gerald. 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 Thank you. Betty. Alan. So do I. All right. Where we go? Oh. All right. The Giants. Diane. Roger. Steve. James. Jimmy. Alex. Gerald. Betty. Jennifer. And Alan. So do I. Yeah. Okay, if I gotta do this one at a time, I'll just have to do one at a time, week to week. Okay. Uh Houston. All right, Steve. Diane. James. Jimmy. Roger. Alex. All right. Let's see. Jennifer. Betty. Alan. Ravens winning. Okay. And finally, the Bucks. All right, Steve. Gerald. Okay. Okay. Bucks. Steve. Diane. James. And Doug now, but the Rangers are that's now on 10 straight. Yes. Okay. 10 straight. I love it. All right. Uh Jimmy. All right, Roger. Okay, Alex. What it is, all right. Gerald, Betty, Jennifer, and Alan. You could if you want to, but okay. All right. Hey, Steve, I got a question for you. There's been some controversy with trying to get the well in your area with the Capitals and the Commanders moving out of Washington D.C. and maybe trying to go to up north to Norfolk, Virginia. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, yes. Gotta keep it short, Steve. Gotta keep it short. Yes. Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. I got some interesting golf news here. Um, Charlie Woods, 15-year-old son of Tiger, who had hopes of competing in his first PGA tournament next week, came up short as he failed to advance in a pre-qualifying event in Florida. Woods went out with the early starters and carded 16 over 86 at Lost Lake Golf Club, which is one of four pre-qualifying tournaments. With preferred lies if in effect and playing with players using carts, Charlie was four over through his first five holes before his round was undone with a disastrous 12 at par four on the seventh hole. Not good. But Charlie responded very calmly with a string of six pairs before a double bogey at the par three hole on the 14th, followed by two consecutive bogeys, closing out his round with the pair of pars. Woods played alongside Owen Brown Jr., whose dad was a three-time PGA Tour winner, carded 2 over 72. The top five scores and ties from each of the three pre-qualifying advanced to Monday's qualifier. The top four qualifiers advanced to the Cognizant Classic, where the winner received a $1.6 million person prize money from a $9 million purse. All right, Charlie had a rough outing, but come on, he's 15 years old, and it's really kind of hard to live to you know legacy of your dad. So I think I give Charlie a break on this. It's his first time out. Kind of under nervous and living under the shadows of your dad. I wouldn't be so rough on him. Anybody agree? I mean, you may not be the legacy of your father, but still, I mean, you're doing out there, you're doing your best, and you're young. You got time to bounce back from this, and I'm sure you will. Yeah, plenty of time. I won't worry. Hang in there, Charlie. You're gonna be all right. And as much as I, of course, love being a sports pro, bringing the good news, I also have to bring some tragic news from time to time. Here it goes. Three members of the University of Women of Wyoming swim diving team were killed, and two others were injured when their SUV veered off and rolled over a rural highway known for deadly wrecks, including one that killed eight other Wyoming student athletes. Ugh. The crash happened on Thursday at US 287, about 10 miles south rather, of the Wyoming-Colorado border between Lamoraine and Fort Collins, Colorado. The swimmers were Charlie Clark, a sophomore from Vegas, junior Luke Slaber from South Africa, and Carson Muir, a female, is a freshman from the women's team from Alabama. The crash also drew 2 other members from the swim team, but are expected to survive, according to a statement from the university. Just a tragic incident there, and our hearts go out to them. Ugh, just a shame. Like I said, I always see the bearer of bad news, but sometimes it has to be done. In our and the Coyotes. Well, one player for Am Zucker is placed on unconditional waivers to terminate his contract. The moves comes after he posted an Instagram story himself, while powdered appearing to be cocaine and a credit card on the counter. Go ahead, buddy. Give us some good news if you want. Okay, only got a few minutes left though. The Coyotes announced that Rutgers Rizuka was going on waivers for termination purposes and have no further comments at this time. Man, you are a dope. Okay, so now we'll do. Okay, so it's that time of the month, the best and worst of the month. So if everybody can give their comments quickly, let's hear it. Steve, best and worst. I thought you'd say that. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Best and worst. Anything. This month. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah. Right. Yes. Anyone else? Quickly. Yes. Okay. Anyone else? All right, then I'll give mine. Obviously, the I have two actually on the best. Um, the Chiefs winning the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, and Caitlin Clark supposedly bringing the all-time women's scoring record. The worst, of course, being the tragedy that happened at the parade, the Chiefs parade of the Super Bowl, and what we just happened. We found out yesterday with the swimmers who died in that horrible crash. That's horrific. Quickly, this week in sports history, Kevin Porter of the New Jersey Nets at the time set an NBA record with 29 assists in a game. Wow. 1980, Rangers score 5 power play goals against the Islanders. This week in hockey history, also, Team USA hockey goes to the gold medal 4-2 over Finland at Lake Placid. The miracle on ice, where the impossible dream comes true. The Boston Celtics in 1982 began an 18-game winning streak. Ugh. 1982, Wayne Gretzky scores his 78th goal of the season en route to 92. How about that? Um, quickly here, if we have any more. 2020, yeah, this marks the 4th anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death as they held a memorial at the stadium. Just a shame. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. Thank you for coming in. Rasal's coming up next. Don't forget to check the show on YouTube if you can. I'll be back next week, same time, same station. And it's a special show next week, but you'll have to tune in to find out why it's special. Oh, actually, some of you already know, but I'm not going to spoil it for everybody else. So until then, next week, same time, same station. Good night and have a good week.
Ready?
Yes.
How'd it go?
Good.
Sounded pretty good.
Got more people than I thought.
Did you?
Yeah.
I heard Betty.
Yep.
Yeah, yep. Who else?
Diane, Steve. Steve. I don't know if Steve's gonna be on that. He wasn't on the show today.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if he'll be on or not.
Oh, did he text you or anything?
No, I didn't hear from him.